of weather, including rain, wind, and fire. Let's talk about it in today's Texas Weather Roundup. Good morning. I am Texas Storm Chasers Baldy and Chief David Reimer. It's Monday, the 9th of January, 2023. Abnormally warm conditions continue. I shouldn't really say abnormally. It does seem to be a feature we deal with a lot lately, but it's going to be warm again this week. No major Arctic outbreaks in the foreseeable future for our neck of the United States, and only one big weather maker to talk about over the next 5 days. We'll talk about that in just a second, but first, let's hop on over to today's temperature forecast. Again, it's going to be pretty darn warm. We're talking 15 to 25 degrees above where we should be in early January. High temperatures this afternoon will range from the lower to mid 60s across the borderland, northern Texas Panhandle, and northeast Texas, all the way up into the mid and upper 70s across the remainder of the state. It's going to be warm. It's honestly going to be a pretty nice day out if you're a spring weather fan. Same thing goes tomorrow, except tomorrow's high temperatures are going to be approaching record territory for January. We're talking about high temperatures in the 70s and 80s. DFW all the way down into South Texas, we could see temperatures flirting with 80 degrees, which would set new record highs for multiple cities. And as we jump on over to Wednesday, that's when we start to see a little bit of a change. First off, we may be flirting with 90 degrees in deep South Texas, but notice temperatures up in the Panhandle starting to cool off a wee bit. Not cold, mind you, for January, but a bit cooler. And that takes us into our midweek storm system. A strong upper-level storm system will materialize to our west Wednesday morning, intensify during the day Wednesday as it moves overhead, and then eject out of our neck of the woods by Wednesday night. Now, we're not really expecting a lot of moisture to affect inland with this system ahead of its arrival, which means we're really not going to be able to squeeze out much in the way of precipitation. Could see a strong storm or two Wednesday afternoon into Wednesday night in East Texas and Southeast Texas, but at this point, we're not expecting widespread appreciable precipitation. What we could be dealing with instead is a high wind event across the western third to western half of Texas. By Wednesday morning and Wednesday afternoon, we may be seeing wind gusts approaching 55 to 60 miles per hour in the Texas Panhandle, West Texas, perhaps down into the Permian Basin, and definitely into the higher elevations of the Guadalupe Mountains. We could see wind gusts over 60 miles an hour. That would result in blowing dust storm. The potential for fast wildfire spread, given the low humidity, warm temperatures, drought conditions, and especially the dormant winter fuels. And of course, all that dust would tend to blow east Wednesday afternoon and Wednesday evening, perhaps making for a hazy sunset in other regions of the state. So that's our midweek system. So the potential for strong wind gusts, perhaps bordering on damaging winds in western Texas, the potential for blowing dust and visibility reductions and the associated travel difficulties with that in West Texas, and the potential for elevated to near critical wildfire conditions. It is our fire season again in the state of Texas, and we're going to be dealing with that. So we head on over to the rain forecast over the next 5 days. You can see we're not expecting widespread quarter-inch amounts in Texas, anywhere in Texas. A couple folks, if we do end up with a couple of storms on Wednesday afternoon, we may see a couple folks get lucky with a quarter to half inch of rain, but for most folks, we are looking at a dry stretch of weather over the next week. You could see California, who have been in a multi-year nasty drought, are getting exactly what they needed. And as it usually goes, all droughts tend to end in floods. And that's what they're going to be dealing with as they continue to get battered by strong Pacific storm systems ever since near Christmas, and now continuing into mid-January. So they're looking at another 5 to 10 inches of rain in spots. The higher elevations will probably see over 100 inches of snow. Skiers rejoice. And then, as you can see, we are expecting some, I'd say, light to moderate precipitation across the eastern third of the continental United States later this week. Back to the temperatures as our upper level storm system departs and we head into Thursday, we are expecting a return to more seasonable temperatures, although it's still looking like it's going to be warmer then it really should be in early January, at least most of the time. High temperatures on Thursday, we're talking about mid to upper 50s across the northwestern half of Texas. Not exactly what we would expect with a strong cold front in January, but this isn't a strong cold front. High temperatures on Thursday will remain warm across the southern to southeastern third of Texas with upper 60s to lower 80s. Head on into Friday, temperatures will start to moderate across the western half of Texas. Generally, it's going to be another pleasant to warm day. Highs in the upper 50s to lower 70s on Friday. And then as we head into the weekend, we'll return to the 70s and even some 80s across the state as above average temperatures, and dry weather continues into early next week. Still no signs of our next Arctic outbreak, although we all know that February will probably have a visit from the old north once again. But that is way off in weather model voodoo land, and for now, no signs of snow, no signs of really cold air, and no signs of appreciable precipitation. So we'll just have to wait and see what comes on down the road. Y'all can keep an eye on the sky with us here at the Texas Storm Chasers and on the Texas Weather Center with our free mobile app. Just search for Texas Storm Chasers in your phone's device store, and of course visit us on the web, texasstormchasers.com. We'll have our next Texas Weather Roundup up tomorrow morning. That's Tuesday morning. I hope you join us. Have a great day, and